All right, guys, welcome back to the Smashcast, where we try our best to give you all the news about what's going on in Smash, the competitive community, and basically just whatever our opinions are about. Jesus Christ, I just fucked that up. I'm just gonna get straight to the introductions. I'm GSNinja. We got PK Awesome, LOZ, and ForsakenProto. I hope I got your names right.
Yes,
and we're basically just gonna talk. Shut the fuck up. We're just gonna talk about. Just going to be the second part of our direct that we had last time. And we're going to talk about, a little more about the characters, the veterans, and maybe just a little bit more about the competitive scene in general. Now, first thing I want to get to is GSNinja. Now, you can't tell me that anybody ever really expected this fucker, because there might have been some wishful thinkers, you know what I mean? That were like, it would be cool if GSNinja got in as a 6th gen representative, but it's probably not going to happen because Mewtwo's going to get in instead. But instead what happens is we get GSNinja, takes everybody by surprise, but you can't tell me there's a single person who does not like that introduction. So what do you guys think?
It was a badass introduction, I'm not gonna lie. That little bit where it threw us off in the beginning, where it looked like it might be Mewtwo, and then you're like, he's upside down, why the hell is he upside down, and all that. But as soon as that Pokemon music started playing, when all the Pokeballs were flying through the air, that was badass.
And then when they started the 6th gen battle, the 6th gen battle theme, when Charizard got introduced, that was really nice. That was I think that's part of what made the trailer for GSNinja was that battle theme. Really nice.
It was beautiful.
But yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that was another, speaking of Charizard, that's probably another thing that really not many people really expected, because, he was part of the whole trio of the Pokemon trainer. But I think ultimately it's a much better idea, because I was not a fan of Pokemon Trainer in the first place. So Charizard being a solo character, in my opinion, is definitely much better. And I think I will actually use Charizard a lot more than if I use Pokemon Trainer, honestly.
I mean, with that whole thing is that I didn't enjoy the Pokemon Trainer idea as well. But the thing is, though, I get why the character was introduced in the first place. It's actually a really good and easy way to bring in 3 reps without actually wasting 3 slots.
Right.
And I do enjoy the idea of Charizard as a solo character, because from the 3 that we were given, he's probably the one that could be a solo character realistically, other than Squirtle. But the thing is, though, what I do like about the GSNinja video is not only Charizard's appearance in it as well, but the fact is they hyped it up in the correct way. They didn't hype it up in a way that those who only play like Gen 6 or a fan of Gen 6 would just enjoy it. The thing is, though, they did it in a way that anybody who doesn't know or isn't comfortable or just doesn't know about GSNinja can still get hyped about it.
Yeah, the way it was just presented in general, absolutely. I mean, and it's really funny because I felt this way. A lot of other people felt the same way. That when GSNinja was first charging up his Shuriken in the trailer, a lot of people thought it was Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Because obviously hindsight is 2020, and you think back and you're just like, oh, obviously it wasn't a Shadow Ball or anything. But when you think about it, because you couldn't really tell who it was. And before the Shuriken really formed, it looked like, just a basic energy ball. So you're like, oh shit, maybe it's Mewtwo. And blue really seemed like a proper color for Mewtwo. And then you start seeing the Shuriken form and you're just like, no fucking way, right?
Yeah.
Then it flies through Charizard and Mario and you just get a boner. And you're like, Jesus Christ, this is amazing. And then GSNinja gets revealed, and basically anybody who likes X and Y probably likes GSNinja. One of my friends, GSNinja is his favorite Pokemon from Gen 6. He said he was really happy. So, really fantastic introduction. And even if Mewtwo doesn't get in, I would really much rather have GSNinja, just for the fact that he's, the newer character.
Yeah, I understand that. What was I going to say?
What were you going to say?
I can't remember. I'm watching something right now that's sort of messing me up.
That's nice.
I've got to monitor all the audio stuff. It's weird. Anyway, what I was going to say, a lot of people rolling out the fact that, we only saw Charizard, they're going to get rid of Squirtle, they're going to get rid of Bulbasaur. I don't see that happening. Merely for the fact that I think they showed Charizard off to go with it, just because he was sort of the opposite type of GSNinja. They had him and Mario going together. Mario was doing a whole, like he was getting ready to throw the fireball thing, and him, he was obviously getting ready to shoot flames from his mouth. And I feel like the water shuriken coming in between them was sort of, the thing of, hey, here's water that cancel out both y'all's fire, they stop, and then you see GSNinja. I don't think that necessarily means that we're not going to have, possibly Ivysaur come back or Squirtle come back. I do not see that happening at all. Merely for the fact that I think they are coming along well with the game, enough that I don't think there's going to have to be a lot of canceling out.
Well, the way I see it, I mean, as far as, Squirtle and Ivysaur being out, is that, let's assume for the moment that, they're going to come back. Maybe the reason they showed Charizard in the trailer is because it was like you mentioned before, Charizard is by far the most popular of the three. So it made sense to at least involve him in the trailer because he's the one that everybody would be hyped up about. I guarantee you that if it was Squirtle or Ivysaur, people wouldn't be quite as excited than if it was Charizard. You know what I mean?
And also, Squirtle and Ivysaur would not have been repped Gen 6 because the Gen 6 battle music we had Mega Charizard at the end.
Right.
And that represents Gen 6 as well.
Yeah,
that's true because
it's not like you can have Squirtle and Ivysaur go Mega Evolving.
But my counterpoint to that is that if the other two are coming back, then why not bring them into the trailer as well? You can say, yes, Charizard is the most popular, but wouldn't it have been a little bit more hype if the entire Pokemon trainer set was there? I mean, look at how it was presented. A wave of Pokemon come in via Pokeballs. Charizard's hype, but then having Charizard, Ivysaur, and Squirtle on that top of the cliff with Pikachu would have made it a little bit more exciting. And that's one of the things that makes me think it's just Charizard. I mean, why not present the other two?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. That if the other two weren't presented at all in the trailer, I mean, I'm assuming right now that they're not going to make it, unless Pokemon Trainer somehow comes back and brings those two back as well. But
he's already said before that they're not going to have any more characters that transform mid-battle.
Yeah, exactly. So I really don't see them coming back at all.
Yeah. That's sentence for them. The fact that they changed the format of switching characters, they no longer exist. So now everybody who used to switch is either split up and gone now. In the case of the Pokemon Trainer, which is unfortunate to those who enjoy Squirtle and Ivysaur. I know I wasn't one who did, but
yeah,
it's unfortunate to them.
I do like the fact that they got rid of transformation characters. Not necessarily that was a bad thing, because I remember when I first played Melee, I really did enjoy the whole Zelda Sheik thing. But I think it's not so much that was a bad thing, but I think it really is a lot better that those characters are split off, because now you have a chance to make those characters even more unique than they already are. Case in point, Zelda and Sheik. Know what I mean? Because now Zelda has that new down B that can be used as both an offensive and defensive threat, and then you have Sheik, who probably has gained even more mobility just because of the fact that she actually has more move slots now. So
yeah, and the fact is the Phantom's pumps.
Oh, the derby is so random. It's like, let's pick a character from Spirit Tracks to rep the Twilight Zelda with Skyward Sword arc style.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't use the Twilight Princess model because they wanted to do Twilight Princess, a Twilight Princess moveset. Mm-hmm. Just because, Zelda's Twilight Princess model is probably the most popular one, and that's why they stuck with it. I'm glad they stuck with it. I prefer her Twilight Princess model above every other one. And her Skyward Sword model is kind of nice, but I really do like the TP model a lot more. But that might just be.
But taking Toon Zelda's thing, I don't understand. But okay.
My thing about that is that yes, Twilight Princess Zelda's probably the most popular model, at least from all that we can have. Because over Skyward Sword, Skyward Sword, I think the other thing is, even though it's the Skyward Sword color scheme and design would probably fit in more with Smash 4, I much prefer Twilight Princess for this one, because not only does the Zelda from Twilight Princess look just nice, but the fact is it looks a lot more fitting with the rest of the cast, especially in the environment that they're using the model in. It's a fighting game.
Yes.
Can you imagine the Skyward Sword Zelda fighting like that? No.
You can, although you can't rule out the possibility. Now that we're getting customization options for moves and whatnot, you can't rule out the fact that we could even get different models instead of just alternate colors when it comes to changing outfits. You know what I mean?
Because the wireframe Mac.
Yep.
Oh my god, that was so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
We just had a question on the Twitch page. It's, they said if there's no more transforming mid-battle, how do you think Yoshi's Final Smashes will work? If they haven't changed it already, I assume it'll work the same, because that's really not a mid-battle transformation. He does it for his final smash, and then he goes right back. It's not like you have really any control over it.
Whose final smash?
Yoshi. Remember
Yoshi's.
how he went
Yoshi's was Yoshi's Final Smash was by far one of my favorite ones, just because it was such a good throwback to Yoshi's old powers from former games.
Yeah,
It was fantastic.
and I mean, yeah, his Final Smash is cool because it's a love letter to all the Super Mario World fans. Like, oh
Seriously.
yeah, here it is. Look at that. He's using all the abilities from it, except the the yellow shell power. But whatever, who cares? Let's not cut on that.
Actually, speaking of Yoshi, I did want to mention something. I mean, aside from that one image they showed where it's just like, look, his egg has a rainbow trail now, which is, I guess it's kind of cool, but what I wanted to talk about was one thing I liked about Yoshi from the trailer was like the very last thing they showed with Yoshi is, his B move, putting Mario in the egg, and then Mario not escaping at all as he fell down to his death, which made me wonder, is this egg going to be, will it be hard to break out of?
I
Possibly.
hope so.
Potentially Mario could have been at a higher percentage because doesn't that usually
That is-
affect it as well?
That as well.
I'm not sure, actually.
I mean-
I never used Yoshi, so I'm actually not really that sure. But
I mean,
I mean-
for someone who plays against Yoshi and uses Yoshi quite frequently, with the egg, it would be a really good benefit. It would be a really good benefit
Trains.
if Yoshi were
Jesus fucking Christ.
to egg people with a harder chance to escape from it. Because the thing is, though, that move otherwise is really useless.
It is.
I mean, it's not good for stopping combos because they'll break out as soon as they get put in, and now you're getting back to getting pressured.
Exactly.
And two, the move isn't good for like taking someone off the stage because once again, they'll just break out quick and then come back. I mean, it wasn't a good option. And if it's harder to break out of in this iteration, then it actually becomes an option that is valid
Exactly.
for Yoshi's defense. The fact
And
is, Yoshi runs a lot more smoother because of the change
A
of
lot
his
more smoothly.
animations. He looks a hell lot more smoother. Instead of looking like the laggy Yoshi from, like, let's say Yoshi's story, he looks more inclined with the more active and more fast-paced Yoshi of Yoshi's Island, which is
Yeah,
what
which
it should have
brings-
been in the first place.
Which brings back to the point that he's like standing up right now, as opposed to
Yeah.
hunched over.
Yeah.
Which I know is like a tiny aesthetic change, but that by itself represents kind of what Yoshi's all about now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yoshi isn't like lag. No, he's
Well, he still is. It's
fast-paced.
fucking Yoshi.
Fucking, he protects babies and saves the island, man. He needs to look like an actual warrior instead of some guy who sits on a couch waiting for shit all day.
Yeah, who
Another
gets
thing-
abused by Mario and Luigi hopping off of him to reach higher
Yes.
places.
Bastards.
Here's something I want to say, and I've sort of been noticing it going between Sheik and Greninja's pictures. A lot of Greninja's moves kind of remind me of what Sheik does, and that worries me a little bit.
Well, I mean,
like,
there's an inevitable similarity between the two
Yeah.
because let's face it, they're both ninjas. Like
Yeah,
there's
they're both
no reason for them not to be similar, but just because they're similar doesn't mean they're going to be the same. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
They'll
I mean,
they'll probably. I mean, they'll fit the playstyles of people like me who prefer like the faster, speedier characters. I mean, I know I mained Ike in Brawl, but that's because Ike was my favorite character in Fire Emblem. Even
And
though he
because
went
Mark-
against my,
we're not going there. Never mind.
I mean, he completely went against my playstyle. That was my point. But I used him because I was like, dude, fucking Ike, like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? But now,
No.
but with, I mean, Sheik and Greninja, like, for people like me who like fast, speedy characters, I mean, they're both going to be suitable options for people
Yeah.
like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're going to be similar to both ninjas. I'm sure they're both going to have like similar traits, but they're obviously going to be different for
yeah, exactly.
whatever unique traits they do have left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
mean,
wouldn't be worried either way.
Yeah, you shouldn't be worried about just aesthetic similarities because at the end of the day, they're just aesthetic. Gameplay differences is what's going to make them different.
Exactly.
That's
Besides,
true, but
Sheik
you know what's
doesn't have
really
a-
going to piss me off is when Greninja does his final smash, and I know we already seen it, just go with the joke, and it's a Landmaster.
Dude, that's
love
going to be
it.
the best.
No, like, because you know how at the intro he does like that whole, he'll do like those multi-strike thing, and then he'll jump up, disappear off the screen, Landmaster.
Landmaster. No, that's how it should end. He should do the Night Slash, and then he just ends it with a Landmaster landing on the person.
There you
God,
go.
I hope Sakurai does that. Please, Sakurai, do that for us.
Please, Sakurai, do this to me. You moly bastard, I need this.
I really hope. I really hope because they've done it with Kirby. They've done it with. Actually, no. Did we only see Kirby's change? But anyway, they changed Kirby's final smash into the final cutter thing, where it's him transforming and using the sword to do whatever, kind of like Link's final
Well,
smash.
Yeah.
But they had the 3 Landmasters in Brawl. They have to change it for this one. Maybe let Fox retain it, because, if they keep Falco is more air game. Let him come in with like an R-wing or something and have sort of like a little reticle on the screen where you can shoot him.
Yeah, it was something.
Back in, maybe, I can't remember what his special was, but, give him whatever. Just separate them enough to where they're not exact clones of each other, even with their minor differences in playstyle.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean...
because I just want to say with Falco, we could do, maybe not exactly like Snake would do, but you know how Snake would climb the helicopter and it was more of a, third person, first person view with a reticle trying to shoot characters. Do something with Falco where he'll jump to an R-wing and then do a first person view where he could just like fire lasers, and then at one point when his Final Smash is like about to end, maybe he'll get like a supercharged laser that he could use that would be, not necessarily a one-hit kill, but that would inflict massive damage.
I'm about to say, take a page from his Adventures, cameo, where he came in and he was shooting bombs at Andros and something. Maybe have him come in, fire a few lasers from his R-wing, and then at the end just shoot a bomb and fly off. And
did people actually play Adventures?
Yeah, I was gonna say you wouldn't want Fox. I wouldn't want Fox to keep the Landmaster because I think there'd be a more suitable Final Smash idea for him. And this is from Assault. In the last mission, he gets on top of the Wolfen and he starts shooting off the Wolfen. I think that would have been a much cooler Final Smash.
He also did that in an earlier mission. I think it was on Ficina and the Corneria levels as well.
Yeah, but the iconic one is obviously the one with Wolf. And the thing is, though, I think it would just be cool in general. I mean, the Landmaster is such a lame Final Smash. The fact is, the Landmaster is just a punchline at this point.
Well, that's the
reason it's grown up now.
Falco's Landmaster is better flying, and Wolf's a little bit more powerful and all that. You couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell.
20 seconds you had it, there was no difference really between them at all.
Exactly.
All you did was somebody got on top, you flew off the top of the stage, and they died, you came back down, wash, rinse, repeat.
Oh, that was bull.
And you occasionally died on launch challenge.
Yeah,
exactly.
Stupid.
Also, we just had Joey point out on the Twitch feed, Luigi's Final Smash has changed as well. He does have the Poltergeist.
Yes, which is awesome.
That's so cool.
I mean, the Negative Zone one didn't even make sense in the first place. I mean, the way the Sakurai justified it by saying it's all of the negative feelings he has towards being in his brother's shadow. That's horseshit. You just couldn't think of something original for Luigi, even though he already had a game that you could have easily taken stuff from. But
that just made Luigi sound so
bitter,
depressing and bitter. Yeah.
It's like the RPG games where you get shit on by everyone. Like, oh, look at that, it's Mr. Greenstash. Oh, Green Mario. Oh, what's your name again? Come on, guys. Luigi isn't a punchline. He's a punchline, but he's also a serious character.
He's a punchline, but at least he has like a major bearing on the Mario series. Unlike, say, fucking Waluigi. I don't know why people still want to play it, but
Waluigi's terrible.
God.
He's not even canon in the Mario series. The sports games are not story relevant.
He's got like Daisy's relevance basically.
I was about to say, wasn't he like the main villain in the Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix game, and that was it?
Serious?
I didn't play the game. I wanted to when I was younger.
That's exactly why. But that's exactly why he's so irrelevant. Like who remembers that game, much less played it? You know what I mean?
I think people just want him because he's that quirky character, and I think we have so many more options that would better fit his role that are quirky characters per se.
Dude, in Super Smash Brothers, like everybody's quirky to some degree. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, no, they are. And the thing is, though, Waluigi doesn't fit. The fact is, he's the perfect assist trophy, though.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
And the fact that they showed him with Wario's emblem pretty much confirms that Wario's coming back. Same with Samurai Goro. I would assume Captain Falcon's coming back, even though he's original 12. You really can't get rid of them.
Yeah, but they're both safe bets. Yeah. Like, the thing is, though, with them is that Wario wasn't that incredibly relevant during Melee, but otherwise he probably would have been in Melee. So
and WarioWare. I mean, he's had games coming out for a while now. He's not super established like Nintendo's main games, but he's made a little niche for himself with his WarioWare games. Yeah. That you can't really argue against him being in, especially considering the fact that he is almost like a legitimate rival to Mario, not to the extent of Bowser and Donkey Kong, but like right under that. You know what I mean?
And not even with that, he doesn't need to be the rival due to his own series of games. He's his own hero in his own right.
That's just kind of like another thing to think about.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, I get. And it's just like with me is I like Wario being in because one, his series of games are great. The fact is he's actually a relevant character in Nintendo's franchises. And the fact is even without the Mario connection, let's say there was no Mario connections, his games in itself give him enough credence to be in a Smash Brothers game.
Exactly, and he has enough of a. I mean, it's a stretch to call it a personality, but he's got. I think he's got enough of a. Yeah, let's just call it a personality to actually be, likable even.
Yeah, I mean, he's greedy and he's an asshole, but he's our greedy asshole.
Exactly.
Do you guys want Wario to change a bit though? Because I think everyone complains about him having these weird personality stuff from Wario, where I'm like, Brawl made that up. I'm like, it really didn't. I mean, Smooth Moves came out before Brawl, and that had already established what he was like. And so
I don't want.
What?
I don't know. There's a few things that could change, but he wasn't that terrible of a character to begin with.
He was
not. He was super good.
Yeah, because the only thing I didn't like about Wario, and I mean, you could blame Brawl's mechanics for why Wario was such a bitch to deal with. The same reason why Meta Knight was such a bitch to deal with, but Wario was the entire reason I started hating, because you guys have probably heard of DMG. He was a Wario main, and I hated watching him play because. And it wasn't, I mean, obviously, I don't hate the guy, but it's just, he used Wario to his fullest extent, and Wario's fullest extent was stalling. And he would stall so many matches out. I remember just this one match against Ultimate Razor and his Snake on Brinstar. And it was just I'm watching the entire thing going why the fuck does anybody play this game competitively anymore? This is bullshit. You know what I mean?
And it's made...
Yeah, it's kind of... that almost epitomized why I dislike Brawl's competitive scene, because you could easily stall matches out using those kind of tactics.
You're right.
Because the mechanics really, that was really the best thing you could do under Brawl's mechanics.
A really good example of that, actually. That's actually very recent. It was, I think it's one of the Skatars events, the winter ones. It was, I think, Zero versus ADHD, the Diddy Kong player. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. I think it's ADHD. Yeah, literally, Zero... Last stock, right? Percentage. He has a percentage lead. So he's actually stalling him out for 2 full minutes to let the time come out. And then Zero gets it in the face by Diddy Kong's down it and loses the match because he let the timeout go.
Jesus
Christ. And it's that's Brawl's metagame. And the thing is, though, it's God damn it. I want to support Brawl's professional competitive metagame, but they're laming it out. It is cross-Tekken for Smash Brothers. It's just what's the point of even playing if all you need to do is just we're going to time you out, we're going to time you out, we're going to time you out, instead of actually playing. And the fact is, Wario is only made worse because not only can he stall, but his air pressure is so tremendous and ridiculous.
All his aerials in general are ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
he can stall and put the pressure, and that's what makes him terrible to fight against. Yeah. If he can only do one of the things, he would be better, but he can do both.
Yeah, which is why I'm really excited for Smash 4. And let's assume Meta Knight comes back, which I think he will, just because it's Sakurai running the helm. But with assuming he comes back, whether he needs a nerf or not, it's possible that Meta Knight could be left the same as he is. Wario too.
But everyone else is going to need to progress a little bit just so they can match that level with them.
Exactly. But as far as Smash 4's mechanics, it's possible that Meta Knight wouldn't remotely dominate the metagame like he did, just because Smash 4 we might get increased hit stun again. It might make it harder for stalling to happen, because
they've shown a few of the changes, the ledge grab has changed a little bit.
Yeah,
there was something else I can't remember right now. I mean, everything that they've shown those, basically said, we've seen this and Brawl and all that, and we're trying to make it a little bit better than what it was. And the fact that they do have the Bandai Namco team working on it as well, and they make pretty damn good fighting games.
Right.
I'm
very much.
I mean, that's the entire reason why Sakurai hired them in the first place, because they know something about balancing.
Yeah, even though he said he doesn't want to cater to the hardcore tournament scene people, he's taking that step that even if those people wanted to play like they did in the past, they can now. And then the casual players can also have that little bit of fun.
And remember, because Sakurai did say that, when Brawl was out, but if he's hiring a team to really help him with balancing and that kind of stuff, clearly he's had a change of heart, because because before Brawl came out, he probably didn't really think the competitive scene was that big. to really, cater to them in any sort of way. And so he was like, okay, Brawl, like it's, Smash is not a competitive game. That's what he said. So, Brawl was Sakurai's legitimate effort to make a less competitive Smash game. He introduced tripping and all this other kind of bullshit. The metagame just went to hell, and people just went back to Melee. So now, of course, Brawl is still a really good game, just not competitively. But Sakurai, I think, realized that there are a lot of people who really even if they didn't really play competitively, they were really into the competitive scene. They liked the way it worked. So he was like, okay, maybe I should accommodate these people. You know what I mean? And it really shows. He's changing the way the characters play. He introduced the For Glory mode online. Yeah. He hired this Namco Bandai team to help him balance the characters. I mean, now obviously he's had a change of heart, and it's a really good thing because now he realizes, not everybody who plays Smash should be a casual, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
And with that, he doesn't even need to cater to us. The fact is, Brawl's a game that was, I'm not going to say made poorly, because that's an insult to Sakurai and Sora and the development team of that game. But the thing is, though, Brawl was made into such a floaty fighter with mechanics to intentionally damage the player and harm them in trying to play the game. It just seems counterintuitive and productive. And now, with this game, it's just a fair, equal fighter that lets people play whatever they want to play. If you want to play with items on high, it's great. You want to play with items on low. You want to play with just platforms and a couple things. You have that too. And the thing is, though, For Glory mode, even though a lot of the reactions from the competitive scene is like, this is kind of bullshit because of the stage selection, ignore that, because that's whatever. The fact that he even put in a little mode for people in that little niche is great.
Taking, he's willing to, work with what each thing wants. He's going to go for the casuals. He's going to, because, whether they like to say it or not, the casuals are going to buy the game as well as the people who, are the tournament scene people who like to go out and, do this, for a living, whatever. But in the end, there are going to be more casuals who buy it than there are going to be.
Of course,
exactly.
The vast majority of people buying the game are not going to be into the competitive scene,
and they have to cater to that group so they can get those sales, so they can warrant, making the next Smash game and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, look, casuals are going to buy it a lot more than the hardcore competitive scene, only because their numbers are sheer compared to the competitive playing scene. And the thing is, though, I do enjoy that. The fact is, I feel that a problem with the competitive scene is they think like they're the only people who play. And that's a really big problem. I feel that that's there. And Sakurai's thinking about both sides. Namco coming in and taking care of, I'm sorry, I apologize. Coming in and dealing with the balancing issues and just trying to make it into an actual fighting game is not only an effort shown by Sakurai that he wants to make a game that's kind of balanced and a lot more fighting game based, but it's just it's a testament to how much he likes his fans and the people who buy his games. He wouldn't be putting this much of an effort if he didn't want this game to be great. And it shows. And as a fan of just Nintendo and a fan of Sakurai's work with not only Nintendo but also with Sora and just how he's working with other companies, it's a testament to how hard of a worker Sakurai is, and it's a testament that how Smash Brothers in general is such a loved franchise by everyone. Because there's people who don't like Mario, but there's people who like Zelda. People who like Zelda but don't like Kirby. People who like Donkey Kong but don't like Pikmin. But Smash Brothers is an opportunity for those who don't like other franchises to play with characters from the franchise they don't like in a setting that can be playable by all. Anybody can pick up Smash Brothers. I play with children from 8 to 12, but I also play with people from 18 to 25 because Smash Brothers is such a universal game. And the fact is, we don't need it to be incredibly competitive. The fact is, Smash in general is just a universal game, and that's what we have to stick with. And I'm happy with that effort, because, they made a mode for competitors, but they also kept it for the casuals, too. There it is, for fun and for glory. He could have just spit on us, man, and said, for fun and no fun, but no. He gave us that little little thing there. Maybe Final Destination is not the best stage for it, but God, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm happy in the first place, and I'm happy that there's a more delicate balance for those who are casual and for those who play competitively. That's what I wanted. I don't want us to overtake that casual scene. I just want a balance. That's all I ever wanted.
And ultimately, that is the most beautiful part about Smash Brothers in general. Because starting from Smash 64, Super Smash Bros. Is a game where it's easy just to get into, fuck around, beat the shit out of each other with your favorite characters. And it doesn't compromise the competitive scene. Look at Melee, for example. I mean, of course, people look at that as the best competitive Smash, but look how easy it is for, some, like an 8-year-old who's never played video games before to just jump in there and be like, oh, dude, Mario, fuck yeah, and just play against computers and beat the shit out of everybody with all items on high. That's the beautiful thing about Smash. Sakurai just somehow flawlessly made a fighting game that isn't dependent upon combos that the other person has to basically just sit there and wait until the combo ends. And just, it's not a traditional fighter. Smash Brothers, it's a very unique control scheme, just a very unique fighting game in general that's not like the other fighters at all. And it seamlessly puts two different communities together without compromising either one. Exactly. Which is fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was my entire thing. He doesn't need to compromise. He doesn't need to. He could just easily make it, all right, items, you can never turn them off. Everyone trips every 3 steps you make. Everyone is spawned with a beam sword in their hand. But he doesn't.
But do you know what I'm really expecting, though, for one of these updates before the 3DS version comes out?
What is it?
I am just waiting for the day where Sakurai's just like, okay, tripping comes back. And then at the bottom of the page, but it's an option to turn on or off.
Okay.
Just to fuck us. Because you just see it. You just see honestly, tripping is back and piss us off.
I don't even want
it's like, just
kidding. Like
tripping
with Zero Suit Thomas. He can be like, she's not returning for this iteration. And it's like, just kidding, she's back. He could be like,
no, I'm gonna go with that Lauren made, because I just think tripping in general is bad. I don't care if it's there. I don't want it back at all. And if they brought it back under the pretense of, oh, you can turn it on and off, it's still a terrible mechanic. It's like
I don't disagree with you, but I'm just saying it's something I would expect from Sakurai.
Yeah, I would expect that from him, especially since the Zero Suit Samus one. That was a really good. That was really good on him. I'm not even gonna lie. That was really funny. I'm sorry. You go.
We just did what you said, but just like tripping his back, as Diddy Kong's down B again. oh, Sakurai. And the Miiverse would freak out. We already knew that, Sakurai. Tell us what new.
You know what? I've learned from the past 10 months. Miiverse will freak out about anything, and then people will be like, "Oh, Sakura, please put in Shadow or something."
Yeah.
I check the Miiverse update, scroll down, look at a few of the Miiverse posts, sort of laugh, and then I have to leave the page. Otherwise, people may just.
Yeah, no, dude. Going to the Miiverse comments is like looking into Pandora's box and not expecting something to kill you. Like, it's so terrible. But the thing is, though, the whole Shadow thing, I like to touch upon that really quickly, because I remember, I forgot, I think it was Game Trailers went to a tournament, a competitive fighting game tournament that hosted Melee, and they asked a bunch of people who they wanted in Smash 4. Dr. Peepee, who, if anybody follows the competitive scene knows, is the best Falco player and the South's best player right now. Yeah. You know who he wanted in Smash 4? Shadow the friggin' Hedgehog. I mean, I get the idea for him, and I get it, but no, we don't need Shadow. He's the perfect assist trophy as well.
We don't need any more Sonic characters.
Like, why do we need the emo cousin who cries from his wrist? Like, we don't need Shadow, dude. We don't.
I mean, when it comes to the third-party characters, we just need those main characters.
Exactly.
Nobody else.
But, okay, I'm sorry. And I want to steer this back to the direct, because we left it out on Yoshi, and we went into the competitive scene, which was fine. But, yeah, no. Back to other people that in the direct.
Still relevant.
Yeah, still relevant. We should talk about GSNinja and what we see from him other than he's a ninja. The fact is that substitute.
Oh man!
It is both a weird move to give him, but also incredibly legit.
So let me remember exactly. Was substitute supposed to be? He sets up the substitute, and then you can do whatever you want with him afterwards.
That's what I was going to ask too. Or does it whenever somebody hits it, he pops up next to it and then attacks? Because
is it a hard counter?
Didn't really answer it.
Yeah, because is it a hard counter or is it like a landmine counter? Like you plant it. And if someone were to do something with it, bah! Or is it just a hard counter where you have to do it at the moment you're about to get hit?
I think it spawns just before he gets attacked, so it must be like a hit counter.
Something like that. But
And when he gets hit by it, does it give him 25% on his unit?
that would be a little bit too much damage.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
like,
Yeah,
it
that'd be
would-
way
like,
too
like,
much.
Like Snake's
5%.
smoking taunt in Project M.
Yeah, it's 1%.
Like if it was like a 5% damage every time you
Yeah.
use it, that'd actually be kind
maybe
of
a
cool.
little bit too
But-
much. Because then you
Yeah,
have
I-
characters like Marth and Ike who can just counter any time they want, no repercussions. But
Well-
that's also not in their game, which I can understand.
Exactly.
But-
Yeah.
But when you think about substitute, like thinking if Greninja is able to act with whatever he wants right after the substitute, I think it would be a proper
balancing.
what's the word I want to use?
Balancing to get him damage.
But yeah, it would make you think about using it instead, because Marth and Ike, they could just spam their counters whenever, and you can be punished for that, because if you counter at the wrong time, you're just open for punishment. Whereas for substitute, you have the option to do whatever you want. You don't have to just attack right afterwards.
Yeah.
So it would be, instead of just mindlessly spamming a counterattack, you could be like, okay, maybe I can use this when I really need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
That's just the way I see
honestly,
it.
as much as I'm a stickler for trying to keep it canon, substitute doesn't need to have the same mechanic workings as it does in the actual Pokemon games.
yeah, but something to
doesn't.
think about.
Yeah. No, you're right. If substitute allows you to have any option coming out of it, there has to be something to kind of put it down, because otherwise it's horseshit.
Yeah, aside from, I guess, some bullshit. But Greninja, he seems like a really fun character, honestly. I'm really excited.
The only thing Greninja taught me is that he secretly is Skull Kid. He can summon the moon when Skull Kid can't. I see. I see what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
they basically gave Skull Kid what Palkia does, didn't they? Doesn't he just
Yeah, exactly.
sort of-
Where in Majora's Mask could he just flip shit up? No, God damn it.
Majora's Mask wise, he can basically do anything he wanted to.
Yeah, but really he's
the
gonna
moon,
waste it
the
on
moon.
inverting shit.
He's doing the moon
Well-
pose when he was introduced to his trophy.
Yeah, that's what
Skullkid's
makes it worse. He's doing the calling the moon down pose, but no, he's just turning shit around. Come on.
I mean, he's a pretty lame character, anyways, though. So doesn't really matter.
Guys, you're right. You're right. He's not even really a bad guy. He's just the vessel for the actual bad guy.
Oh
And
man.
you guys talk about giving him this way. And you guys talk about him while throwing Skull Kid under the bus. What
Sorry, I
is
didn't
worse
hear you
than
say
that?
that again.
You guys can say that about Skull Kid, and yet you people actually like that guy from Skyward Sword, who is the same thing,
Oh, Gear
except
him.
less cool.
Hey.
Like, you're him.
That guy.
You know what's funny? I think it's really funny how people will demonize Tingle without a second thought, but then think Gearhim is okay. Like, I really don't.
He's not
understand
okay.
it. He's not
Gearhim-
okay. Fuck Gearhim. I don't want to see him in Smash, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
no,
see-
I'm one of those guys who doesn't want Gear him in Smash. I just want Ganondorf. I'm sorry that I'm a stickler, but
Yeah.
I want Ganondorf.
I would rather
Ganondorf
just
is
keep-
threatening.
Yeah, I would rather just keep the same. Honestly, I would be okay if we didn't add or subtract anybody from the Zelda
Yeah.
series. I'm honestly just fine with what we have already. If you're gonna add somebody else, like I would even prefer Vadi
No, add Tingle.
over Girahim in the first place.
See, I would like
But-
Bobby. And
Yeah.
he could sort of, be,
Oh,
even though he wasn't in the same game, he could sort of, play to Toon Link's little, Toon thing. Because he
Right.
was, he was basically on the Game Boy games, and he was Toonish.
now,
Yeah, but
I think we should rep Tingle over everyone else. I mean, he had his own game. He's his own character in his own right. He sells maps like a motherfucker. That's cool. I love the
he
complete
He wasn't a total
silence.
disappointment in his father's eyes.
I just don't want to think about him as playable.
Come on, Tingle would be cool, man. He'd be like, cool and pop, and then just like flail around. And his final smash would be that he's useful for once. It'd be great.
Oh, God.
I'm joking. Come
No,
on.
his fans should be
Fuck,
charging me
that's
rupees for translating maps.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Talking about charging for maps, they totally dropped the ball on not having the Dreamhouse final smash just be given, here's the bill, and then they get hit.
Yes, I know. That should have been the thing.
I'm so disappointed that wasn't the final smash. Like, here's a house, here's the bill. Ah! 50
I
damage there.
never played Animal Crossing, so I wouldn't know.
That's fine. You don't need to play Depth Simulator. It's fine, you don't.
Speaking of which, this is going to go off topic for a minute. I really want to get Tamagotchi live and just throw people from the site on there and like stream it. If only I had a way to, stream from the 3DS.
You must do. It must be happen because Smash 3, 4. We're getting that before Smash.
Yeah, I know. If I had the money, I would totally invest in it. But that's going to be a thing that comes after bills are paid and all that. And I've got a few people I need to pay back for stuff. But
drugs.
I'm just trying my best to save my money before Smash.
Yeah, I need my money, man, bro.
I need to save my money for drinking before I get Smash. And then drinking right after I get Smash with my friends.
He's gonna get smashed before Smash.
Exactly, and then get smashed while smashing with Smashers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I still need to invest in a Wii U.
Well, there's really no rush, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, although isn't Mario Kart coming out?
Mario
soon?
Kart comes out very soon. Yes. I was also going to say, I think there was supposedly a leaked announce date for Smash, August 26th. I don't know if that's going to hold any truth because it was shown along with like a few other games, like a New Harvest Moon DS or 3DS game and stuff like that. So possibly August 26th for the next release date.
That'd be cool. And actually, on the subject of leaks, can we talk about that hilarious Choir Boy leak?
Oh, God.
I honestly never. I haven't seen any of it, so I don't really know what it's about. Just that was like basically like a bunch of fake screenshots. That's all I really know about it.
That's basically all it was.
Oh, okay.
And a fake Flash video.
I mean, that video was hilarious.
All they showed
that jumping animation
jumping.
was.
That was it.
That jump animation was so out of place. It looked like someone in Paint made it. That was. It's just like.
No, sorry, go on.
No. Can I have someone justify even putting in Choir Boy in the game? Like someone.
There is a justification.
Just as
people are saying far-fetched character like Game & Watch and Rob, but even then, that's a little bit of a stretch.
That is.
Dude, if we're gonna put in far-fetched characters, we have to put in Reggie. Like that's really the only.
It'll be me. If they put in anything, it'll be me, and they'll show like Reggie, Sakurai, Iwata, and somebody else fighting.
Can we not do that? If we were gonna put in a far-fetched character, can he just be far-fetched? It's the Pokemon.
Yes.
Somebody was gonna say it. I was gonna say it, and then
That was
we were all going to say it.
That was such a terrible joke.
Either that or Delibird.
Yes.
Delibird. Okay, I'm cool with Delibird.
He's a Santa Claus bird Pokemon. That's super cool. Why did my voice go that high? But
The bug is his tail.
By the way, I do want to steer the conversation onto just kind of like news, like site news.
Yeah.
So there was that whole meetup that you guys had. PK?
Should I speak? Okay, yeah. Should I speak about that? Okay. So yeah, SmashBrosCentral had our first actual meetup. It stems from the fact that there was talks about having the Illinois members meet up that failed because everyone had ideas but never actually developed anything.
Don't you guys live like in or like near Chicago at least?
Yeah, at the very least. 3 of us live in Chicago. The other one lives outside. He lives in like buttfuck somewhere in Illinois. Who cares about that guy? But my thing is, I wanted to play with people, and I'm like, why don't we just have a meetup where we just play Smash Brothers? That's it. No other context. No, let's go eat somewhere. No, none of that. Let's just get together and play Smash Brothers. So me and other members on the website, Logshot, Rocky, and Karasaur, Dinosaur, whatever his username is. I'm sorry, Kaysen, I love you.
Well, actually, I like that. Let's call him Dinosaur from now on.
We all decided to meet up. We all decided to meet up at the Paul Gaming Lab downtown, and we just play Smash Brothers together. And that was essentially the meetup. We just got to meet each other. We talked, and we played Smash Brothers. It was such a fun time. I mean, one of our members didn't come on time. Looking at you, Logshot, comes 2 hours late, sweaty, just like in like tears. He looks like a Papa Roach music video. It was.
Good job, Joey.
I'm sorry, I'm just egging him on. I apologize. But no, it was a fun time, and it worked for a meetup because we met up to do the one thing that the website's about: Smash Brothers.
That does sound like a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, no.
The thing is, I wouldn't know. I don't know anybody who lives in California though, who's from this site. At least who's remaining. I would like to meet up. It would be nice if I could meet up with just really any one of you. Honestly, I would definitely like to meet up with I would definitely like to meet up with Sylv because he's basically the closest thing I have to like a brother from another mother. But
Sylv is
he lives in
crazy,
freaking bumfuck Kentucky.
Hey, buddy. You know what? Just don't go to Europe this summer. Just come visit all of us.
Yeah, dude, just visit all of us. Fuck Europe.
I've already paid for my ticket, damn it.
No, dude, just
I'm not going back.
cancel it, man. Just be like, nope, fuck that. Let's go around the U.S. Like tour the U.S.
Go on, do it. Yes.
Nah, man, no, I got it, man. I want to get some money, and I'm gonna have a European SBC meetup, and it's just gonna be like
No, I'm
three
trying to.
people.
I'm actually trying to convince Liam to meet up with me in either because I'm going to London and then Amsterdam, and I'm trying to convince him to meet me up at or meet
Yeah,
up
you
with
just wanna
me
do decent things with
at
me. You
either
don't wanna
one.
actually
Shut
do-
the fuck up. But yeah, it's once again the trouble is whether they have money or not. So
Yeah, exactly.
that
The thing
was-
is, though, that's
Definitely
why
money.
that's why the meetup between us four works because we
You're all right
don't necessarily need money. We just need transportation money, and that's it. I mean, that's how a successful meetup works. We have an actual idea, and like, let's just do this, and that's
Exactly.
it. That's why the original plannings for the bigger one didn't work because everyone's just throwing out ideas without any solid thing to do.
Did we even plan another meetup before?
Well,
I think they tried to do like mini meetups and
they did.
Oh, did they
They did.
really?
The Illinois area guys were wanting to make a
Oh,
bigger.
okay.
And that's actually the only reason why I did this one. I planned this one because it was an idea between me and Kaysen. We were talking. It's like, why don't we just play Smash Brothers? Joey got on. I was like, yeah, this would be a good idea. Let's just do that. And then Rocky's like, yeah, whatever. And then we all just met up and played Smash Brothers, and it works that way.
I think the funniest thing about the whole meetup though is that sorry, I think the funniest thing is that the one person who didn't show up was the guy who's created our community in the first place. Like, where was Chris
Chris.
in all this?
Well, the thing is that we developed it in offsite. We developed the plan offsite, so he wouldn't have known anyway.
I still think it's really funny though, because he's the
Yeah.
guy who started this whole community in the first place back in 2007, 2008, and he wasn't there.
That's fine. We got three incredibly charismatic members to do it, and Joey.
And Joey.
And so yeah.
Poor Joey.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lockshot. I apologize. I shouldn't be making fun of you this much,
He
but
probably complained about it on Twitter all day. I'm
But yeah,
lost,
no.
I don't know where I am.
What kind of douchebag uses Twitter, anyways?
But to end this subject, I'm gonna have to say it was a very successful meetup, and I would love to do it again with even more people from the area and even people from out of state.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, no, it'd be great.
As a matter of fact, once they get a little bit, once they get a better source of income, I would absolutely love to.
Yeah,
Because
dude, it'd
flying
be
halfway
great.
across the country really isn't that much money. So
Yeah, man. If you want any housing, man, don't look to me. I live at home with my parents.
it's okay. I can sneak in, sleep on your floor, maybe sneak into your bed every now and again.
I don't know how comfortable they would be if I bring in a buff Jewish man to sleep with me.
Jewish-looking man.
Jewish-looking buff man coming in here. But yeah, no,
They'll
yeah,
understand.
yeah, they'll understand. But yeah, no, the meetup was successful, and I'm very happy that it worked. And I would love to have another one for the site, and not even just the Illinois members. I would like to see Josh come in from wherever he is in the South. I don't care. Come in and join us. Andrew coming in from terrible California.
You mean the best state in the country?
And then we'll have a Kickstarter for Lauren. We'll start one for her.
Yes, buy me a plane ticket.
Yes. Fly Lauren to America. That's going to be the Kickstarter.
Land of the free.
What are the goals for it? Like, for every 100,000
You don't-
donated, what's going to happen?
Okay, I have the plans already. All right, $5, you get a picture of me signed by GS.
Oh shit! I actually be kind of
$10.
down for that.
If you donate $10, Josh will slap himself with a pickle for you live.
Man,
$20.
That's not exciting enough. It'll probably have to be like.
$2, man. Come on.
Now $20 would be Josh putting a pen on his head.
How about a dildo instead? That might
No,
be
let me finish.
exciting.
$50 would get you a customized dragon dildo.
I like that.
Signed by the SBC.
Oh god, that reminds me.
Sorry.
That reminds me of a stream I watched once where this guy was like, "Okay, if I get like this amount of viewers, I will go online right now and order Dragon Dildo." He got like twice as many viewers as he was asking for. So on the stream, he goes online, orders like this. It was either a medium or a large Dragon Dildo. It was expensive as hell. He got him like I think rainbow or pink. After he ordered it, he realized that the place he ordered it from was like 5 miles away from his house.
God.
That's terrible.
A place that manufactured dragon dildos was 5
And then
miles. from his place.
$100 would be we send nudes, not of her, of me. I will send nudes, and then it'd be like, haha, I tricked you, but thank you for donating. Things like that.
I mean, I would do it. I don't have.
No,
anything-
no. We have an example of yours, dude. No.
You want to know about mine again? I'll do it.
It's not
Hey,
even.
I censored it. Okay.
I think what's made worse by the implication of the censorship. I think that made it worse. But
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, back to the direct. Not the erect, the direct. I want to talk about the other
I heard you
veterans
say
they-
the erect. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to talk about the other veterans they showed. Not the switching veterans, but the other veterans other than Yoshi. I think Olimar is something I really
Yep.
want to talk about.
Olimar, I think, definitely is one of the most different characters.
Yeah,
Or who
because-
like underwent like some. It's just, I mean, his only big change was, having half as many Pikmin as before.
And his
But it's a
recovery.
pretty fucking big one. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
because his recovery changed because of less Pikmin.
I was
He
about to
actually
say, did they
has an
show
order.
him-
He has an order of which he's plucking them now, which really makes things a lot better for Olimar mains, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I feel like I love all the changes that happen. Although we were speaking about it with Lauren earlier, I do miss the fact that now we can no longer use the Pikmin chain as an attack. Because I think in this new environment, it would be so much better now.
Or fast falling angles. No more.
Like, think about it. 3 Pikmin makes the chain smaller, but manageable that enough that you can probably continue combos with it, or even end combos with it. But now it's gone.
Pretty much.
Fine,
And
yeah.
I like their little idea of Olimar being, the more Pikmin he has, the heavier he'll be when he uses his recovery. I think that's a really
Yeah.
cool addition.
Yeah, I mean, but you could just toss them off the side and then go up. But did they ever show
Wait.
rock Pikmin being used?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't
Because,
think
That's
a lot
still
of people
Dome
were
B.
saying they didn't show the wing or the rock because they were going to give it to a second Pikmin rep, but now that they've showed
Nope.
what's going to happen. Guys,
Oh,
also, on the Twitch feed, which we are, recording this one live and streaming it to Twitch, but we may do that for future ones. Somebody just said, my mom came in the room and asked why everyone was talking about dildos while my name kept brought up.
Well, no.
No
I'm gonna-
comment.
I'm going to have to put like a little rated R thing on YouTube.
I didn't know. I'm sorry I brought up Dragon Dildos. I apologize.
So just rate it PG, because I mean there could be a little bit of parental guidance to it.
Yeah, dude. No, rated DD for Dragon Dildos. That's the warning. But
Dude,
no, but
we're gonna do that from now on.
yeah, but
Smash
back
Cast
to
rated
Olimar. Lauren was actually speaking about it because we were talking about down B, and it's kind of useless now because now the whistle in Brawl was essentially, oh, I just lost my Pikmin. They're scattered. I need them all back together.
Wait,
But
did
with
they change
3,
this down B or is it still what it is?
we don't know though.
We haven't seen it.
We haven't seen the whistle. So that's why when Josh brought up the rock Pikmin, Lauren brought up the idea that rock Pikmin would be like, Lauren, you go. What was your idea?
I think like the giant bee would be like just maybe like smashing the rock Pikmin nearby. It's like you have a shockwave.
Yeah, Shockwave. Yeah. And
Or he's
and
gonna
the other
pull like King Dedede and just like throw a rock Pikmin like he does Gordos.
Oh
And-
god, that's these the only throws Gordos now. That's horrible. And discouraging.
I guess speaking in that sense, if the down B is using the rock Pikmin to do a shockwave, maybe the down B will change depending on what Pikmin's out front. So
Yeah,
instead you have the rock Pikmin, doing a shockwave. Maybe you have the fire Pikmin. Maybe he shoots a fireball or whatever. I know it's not original, but you see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, no, that would give more credence. That would give more to the okay. I need these certain Pikmins out because if they all have effects with the down B, that can make people want to use more other color Pikmin over another color Pikmin,
Right.
which brings in some more micromanagement. But hey, that's fine.
That just make it more fun to use, in my opinion.
And my thing is though, my other thing is I want to talk about the final smash of Olimar. They didn't show it, but the item they showed
Does the
That's
same
like-
thing.
that does his final smash. Does that mean he has a different final smash now?
I would assume so. Because Lauren brought up as well, now that they have that item, he could potentially go back to using his older ship for whatever needs he needs to.
He's going to turn to Louis.
God, no.
That'd be so much fun. But
Like, I mean, look,
Don't
I don't have a really good knowledge of the Pikmin games. Not off the top of my head. I need to play them
What?
again. But I would want to know what would be a better idea for a Final Smash for Olimar over him just going.
Don't diss his noises.
I will diss it. All right, because I think
Proto, we can hear you typing.
Oh God, no.
I think
Okay.
Olimar's Final Smash and Brawl was garbage.
What would you
Say that
suggest instead?
No, that's why I'm asking one of you guys because I think it's garbage. But the thing is, though, I'm willing to admit I have no better ideas.
No,
Okay, I will go.
it's
I will
garbage.
do this.
Yes, please
This
do
Final
this.
Smash. Okay, even though I have not finished Pikmin 3 yet because insert reason here. I've heard talks that people think he should use the Plasma Wraith because the Plasma Wraith does some sort of thing, kind of rapey, and Olimar lives inside it and it attacks people that get near him. So maybe you could use that.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be a good alternative. I'm trying to think about it. Or they could just be assholes and just put in something that wouldn't work, like a Bulborb attack, which is dumb, but that's something I feel like they would actually do.
Could let me a Bulbin, a Bulbob system in Bulb the thing, that thing.
It's just like, I just want to know if his Final Smash changed or not, because the item kind of gives me an idea that maybe they changed it, because they seem to be editing up the veterans, and that's good. That's a step in the right direction. New moveset for Olimar. He has essentially they just gave him new shoes. It's great.
And we can't can't forget that they've also said they will have customizable movesets.
Yes.
So, I mean,
We've
anything
left the
we're
chain.
discussing could potentially be changed with, somebody going into settings and making, what Pikmin decide to come up when and all that. So,
That'd be great.
there's
That'd be
really
a really
no
good
telling
customization.
anymore.
That'd be a great customization option. That you can change the order of Pikmin. And my other thing is about the flying Pikmin. You know what they showed him flying with the purple Pikmin was obviously the heaviest. So obviously all the weight things are still there, like all the little characteristics of the Pikmin are obviously still there.
Right.
So what does that mean for the flying Pikmin if you're using 3 traditionals, red, yellow, and blue? Does that mean it's a lot more effective than having a purple on you when you're trying to do the flying Pikmin?
It's possible.
Probably, yeah, you probably fly further if you had 3 yellows instead because they're the lightest Pikmin.
Yeah. Like, what happens to the up B if you suddenly get 3 purples? Like, you've managed to get 3 purples. Does he
You're
not
being
even
punished.
get up? Does he not even go up? He's like, then he just falls. It's just like,
No.
and boom.
He'll hover for like 3 seconds, and then the Pikmin will just drop him.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this, I'm not gonna do this.
I do like the encouragement of, although it kind of makes him kind of more of like a suicide fighter, because it's like, if he gets thrown off, he's like, oh man, I need to get back up. Throwing the Pikmin, sorry guys, bop, 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 bop. Which is kind of, I like that part of the flying Pikmin.
Oh,
You're my-
Proto, fix your mic.
What is going on?
Is it going on again?
Yeah.
I'd say it should be adjusting.
I'm getting scared. Is that how I sound? Did I sound that shrill? Shit.
Yeah, a little bit. This is why we can't have nice things.
Oh man, that hurts. But no, I do like the bringing in of the flying Pikmin. Although I will kind of miss the chain.
Oh,
I do want to
Nice.
bring up before we wrap this up. I do want to bring up one more thing. And it's actually concerning the actual 3DS version of Smash. Do you think it will have a legitimate competitive following? I mean, assuming it goes off really well.
I think for the first few months of it being out, it might. But as soon as Wii U version comes out, they're just going to switch over to that.
Yeah,
I don't think-
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I don't think you can last because
Yeah.
you will break your 3DS after a while.
Yeah.
It's
If
not
they're
like,
gonna
oh, I can switch controller out. You can't switch your 3DS out.
Yeah. Especially if you're going
it's-
to try to like wave dash. Your buttons are going to wear out in like 2 seconds.
That'd be terrible. I mean, look, no, there's not going to be a big competitive scene for the portable. What portable fighter have you seen actually have a surviving competitive scene, or even have one in the first place?
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
not-
I know. The reason I ask is just because it is Smash. I mean, it's a given that it's going to be overshadowed by the Wii U version, that it won't have a big competitive scene. But I mean, do you think there will be any longevity after the first few months? Because it is Smash we're talking about. This isn't like really a traditional fighter we're talking about.
I think any longevity that's given to the 3DS version, other than casual players, it's the competitive players who do want to make a scene out of it, just like Brawl.
Right.
that's the reason why that scene is still slightly alive. Is because people want to make an effort to make the scene into the scene to a scene. But
despite the fact that it's competing with Melee, with Project M.
Yeah,
It was competing with like Raw Plus for a while, that kind of shit.
But to echo everyone else, once the Wii U version's out, that's the main game. That's the scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like back to Lauren, if you break your 3DS, it costs a hell out of a more to replace a 3DS and a goddamn controller.
That's right. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to break 3DS playing a Smash game. I mean,
Ah,
This
man,
is
the
so cool,
competitive-
Dad. that will get stuck or fall off. I don't know whenever that happens.
some
yeah, like doing all the
asshole-
text. Like,
dude, some asshole is going to be mad, chuck his 3DS and realize it's not a controller, and be like, oh, fuck.
exactly.
Oh god.
I would pay to see that. Just some guy's like, oh, fuck, you beat me. Ah, oh, no, sorry. Wait, what? No.
Just a $180 mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's what the 2DS is for.
I was about to say $250 mistake, but I was like, oh, wait, the price dropped. Fuck. I never took advantage of
Cost
that.
that much.
Your 3DS was $200. You're
It
lucky.
was good when it first started, like, you know, like during those first, when it came out in March of 2011 or whatever, and then up until I think the following September, yeah, it was $250, and then Nintendo realized there are not that many sales. We don't have that many sales, so they dropped the price by like $70.
Are you serious? It was £300 here.
Jesus Christ.
Wait,
That's like
wait.
that's like
I'm sorry.
$480.
Something like that, yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I bought mine at launch.
Yeah, same.
I
See.
didn't even get mines until like Christmas of last year.
Well, we got the ambassador games though, so it was
Yeah.
all
Yes,
good.
we got WarioWare on the
Hell yeah.
3DS.
WarioWare.
F-Zero, Fire Emblem 8, that kind of shit.
To bring in some more discussion, Logshot actually presented a really good question about
Yep.
the 3DS and its scene. Here's the question verbatim. Do you think there will be any problems with people using 2DSs, regular 3DSs, or XLs? Seeing as if you can see more on your screen, it could be an advantage if there is a competitive thing.
That's true.
So, do we regulate what 3DSs we use if there is a competitive scene?
It probably XL because manly men use XLs, except me because I'm a woman and I have smartphones.
Well, actually, I use the regular.
You're probably like the manliest one here.
I use the regular 3DS.
I can't afford an XL, but
Yeah, I can't afford an XL either.
Well, I'm not going to buy an XL if I already have my 3DS, regular one. So,
Yeah,
but, I mean, I
exactly.
think it sounds like something that, you know, when the problem comes. Like in the meantime, we'll probably just. I guess it just depends on people. Maybe it depends on people's preferences. Honestly,
Also, I'm assuming they're not going to throw gigantic stages on a 3DS either.
exactly.
Yeah,
And I mean,
exactly.
I'm sure it's. You can't really. I don't think there'd be some kind of ruling depending on, like, you know, what kind of 3DS you use, just or 2DS. There probably won't be such a huge difference where, like, you'll really need to use like an XL.
and if I was to do it, I'd get a 2DS because like I wouldn't feel bad if I broke it and then the screen would be fully backwards and I'd be because when I play my 3DS, I'm scared of the hinge just breaking because it always snaps back. I'm like, stop doing that! You're being an angle.
Oh man, I mean, and the other thing is 2DSs feel like shit. Like,
Is it?
Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, I don't
you-
know. I kind of like. I get one of my brothers for Christmas, and I actually kind of like the thing.
Mono
I'm not a big fan of the
speakers.
design, honestly.
Mono.
I mean,
one
I
screen.
Josh thinks that I just think they feel like shit. Like I played with one because I go to school with someone who uses a 2DS, and I played. He let me play. I forgot what game he let me play. Something else on the 3DS, and I was using it. I'm like, Jesus, this does not feel responsive. This feels like I'm literally touching a cardboard box. What is this?
Sounds about right.
But it's good for people who have it on a budget or little, children who just want to play something. It's fine for that. But for me, I'm like, what is this? What? I'm playing with cardboard with like painted on things. What is this shit?
The price is still too much, I feel, compared to the 3DS because like, it's only like a £50 difference here. I'm like, if I want deck stereo and like
Yeah, that's
and be able to close it and it looks nicer and feels nicer and heavier and it's 3D for £50.
Yeah, I think the investment in an XL would be much more worth
than
it compared to a 2DS.
3DS. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to upgrade eventually to a 3DS, but I don't think 2DS is like. It's another thing. It's like the Wii they released in like, and only like in Canada and other regions, where it was just a slim Wii for like $100, but no Wi-Fi, no real anything. Just here's a Wii that can play Wii games, and that's it.
It is ugly too, that one. The one that's like a boxy thing. It's got like a red on it, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I guess
that go
it
over
makes
there?
sense now that they're going to shut down all the Wii stuff come, what is it, the 18th of this month? Next month?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Good riddance to that friggin' Wi-Fi system. That thing's garbage.
Seriously.
Now all the Rayquazas now all the beliefs asking for Rayquaza can die.
Oh god.
I mean, oh, like there's a really big Mario Kart Wii scene, right?
Hey, buddy. Come on now.
What?
Good one.
You have 8 days to get Mario Kart. You get to get a Wii U.
Which, I mean, you know, they're ending it, and the Mario Kart Wii U is just going to come out like a couple weeks later. So
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of which, as soon as that game comes out, I'm hoping to get, you know, some community events set up for the site for people who have gotten that. Just so we can, you know, start, you know, building, you know, the relationships that we had back when Brawl Central was out, and then hopefully when, you know, Smash 4 comes out, we can just keep going from there.
Relationships.
I mean, as far as Mario Kart 8, I'm not going to get the game at launch, but I mean, it's still something I'm considering, really.
Yeah, I can't get the game at launch, but I will try to play as much as I can.
I can't get it either at launch. I will get it when I can, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, none of us, we're not like you, Josh. We're not privileged, man.
Oh.
Check your cis privilege scum.
Yeah, check your privilege.
You're just as white as I am.
Oh, I know.
No,
that.
he looks Jewish. That gives him less privilege.
Oh.
Don't forget,
his dick
dude,
is a black box.
I'm a dirty Italian dude. I don't have that much privilege.
He's a dirty Italian with a black with a black block's dick, dude. He has less privilege than you do.
Oh my god. Anyways,
Laura's a woman and I'm Mexican, man.
Women have no privilege, and that's a good thing. Whoa.
all right, but anyways, it is time to wrap this up. So I'm going to give it to Josh to give us our closing statements here.
All right,
Yes.
cool. Once again, guys, we are SmashBrosCentral.com. Of course, you've already found the podcast, so you know we are present on YouTube. We're present on Twitter, SmashBrosCentral, without the A. Wouldn't fit.
We also have a MySpace.
What?
We also have a MySpace.
No MySpace. I think my mic's starting to cut out a little bit. Once again, we are present on Twitter, SmashBrosCentral without the A in Central. We are on Facebook as well, Facebook.com/SmashBrosCentral. If for some reason this pops up on any other website, I will say it. We are, YouTube.com/SmashBrosCentral.com. Check out the forums, www.SmashBrosCentral/forums. Guys, is there anything else you think needs to be added to that?
Proto Man
No, I think
sucks.
you said it perfectly.
It's fine.
Besides Juan, I'm gonna start saying that now. Is anybody besides Juan gonna say anything? And I guess if this turns out okay, I guess we can start streaming them live to Twitch whenever we're doing recordings. That way we can accept questions from the community when everything starts getting out. We do expect a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot more traffic to the site as soon as the games start coming out in the summer and in the winter. So please, feel free to join us. Hopefully now, get used to everybody, and that way when everything does start picking up a little bit, you've already been in the loop for a while. I think that should be it. I apologize. We're trying some different recording stuff today. The audio might come out. I know mine cuts out a little bit. My Real Tech audio stuff is being a pain in the ass, but everybody else should sound pretty good.
Yeah,
please leave us feedback on the Smash Bros Central YouTube account. We love
Don't
it.
be afraid to be critical, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
We'll take any form of criticism.
Yeah, and for any fan response, if you want, you can find GS on Grindr. So if you want to speak to him personally, he's on there.
Hey, I'm not gonna really argue against that. So, but anyways,
we will link to each of the sites we use and everything in the little information below this video. So feel free to check that out if you have any questions where to locate the site and all that. Andrea, I'll toss it back over to you to give us a little finishing statements.
Well, I mean, you basically gave us all our finishing statements, so I'm just going to say again, thank you for tuning in with us. This has been GSNinja, Carlos, LZ, and ForsakenProto.
Can I add?
Yes.
Wait, I want to add a closing statement.
What?
All right.
It's
My
coming.
name's not Carlos.
Oh my god, that was so interesting. Okay, so anyway, just kidding.
Piece of shit. I want to say that Proto Man sucks. All right.
But yeah, this has been GSNinja, PK Awesome, LOZ, ForsakenProto. We're going to be doing this as regularly as possible. We said it before. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
We love you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.